Alright, so we are working on some namespace require business for eval with namespaces. And the issue is it's completely busted. It's completely busted. And I thought it wasn't busted, which is devastating. All right. All right. My namespace is make namespace. Namespace require my namespace, and we'll do private steel print. And then we're going to do eval with namespace. Okay. Okay, perfect. I've got a little harness now. I also switched over to WesTerm. Switched back to WesTerm, actually. I was previously on WesTerm. Used Ghosty for a bit. Decided I gotta support my boy Wes. Never met him, but I think he's a nice guy. Seems nice at least. So I switched back to WesTerm. I'm using I have a local fork of it. Changed a bunch of shit. But this is good. Okay, so this is completely busted, and I know why. So it's because when I'm porting over to the namespaces, it looks like this is unable to be referenced correctly. And I think I'm going to try to prove it. So these are all the parameters. Hold on one moment. There is not. We used it. All right. So let's do. I mean, these are all fine. But it's because parameters are set parameter getter. I think parameters are using current. Where's the function prop? Prop procedure is 0. I think it's here. I think this is the issue. Actually, maybe that's not the issue. It might be the issue, though. All right, let's do a little bit better debugging. All right, we're going to get this. We're going to do inspect impl self. Okay, let's try that. How are we doing today? I had a great day. It was beautiful out. Beautiful day. Fixed some bugs this morning. Beautiful day. All right, perfect. I was right. It is in this. It is in the case lambda. So it's I'm invoking. Okay, so this is a bit of a problem. In fact, this is actually like a massive problem. What's up, man? How we doing today? How's your day been? I'm just sneaking in a little quick stream. I gotta make dinner in like 45 minutes. Hell yeah. Best sleep you've ever gotten. Making an eggplant thing for dinner. Figured you'd like that. I actually have no idea what the recipe is. I didn't pick it, but it sounded good. It was like eggplant with some orzo or something like that. I don't know. I don't know what it's called. I'll tell you when I know, though. I didn't pick the recipe. It's not baba ganoush. Although I was just looking at pictures of baba ganoush and I was like, dang, that looks good as hell. I mean, it's basically like eggplant hummus, right? Oh, hold on. Doggy on the stream. Doggy on the stream. Better be Chick-fil-A. Oh my God, you're so right. Closed on Sundays. Oh man, what am I working on? Okay, so in Scheme, there's a notion of namespace. Well, okay, there is this notion of namespaces, which is like you can run eval in its own world and it doesn't have access to the globals or to the environment, to your base level environment. So I'm trying to implement that. Struggling because the way I did it is silly. And so I'm struggling. What is happening is I take my base level environment and I make a new environment that's like completely empty. And I'm trying to then expose individual bindings from the top level into the environment below. The problem is basically that I have to like rewrite some of the values like destructively in order to make that happen. And now I have like a tree rewriting problem, which I have to figure out how to do. Because otherwise, like basically I take the old ones and now I have this new environment. So I need to like rewrite all of the bytecode instructions to point to the new indices that exist in the new environment. So it's like maybe like plus was at index 10 in the old environment, and now in the new environment it might be at index like 36. Okay, so I have to say every instruction that pointed to 10 now point to 37. So I rewrite them and I put them into the new environment. All good. That actually is pretty easy. Where I think I solved that pretty handily, excuse me. Now where it's falling apart is that if a closure has a capture, so like a function then captured a variable, I'm not going to be able to rewrite that one. I'm not able to rewrite that capture correctly. And that could be like arbitrarily deep. So that closure could capture another closure and I need to rewrite that thing, or it could capture, et cetera, et cetera. You see how this is how this could be an issue. So I'm trying to figure out how to do it. Now, interestingly, I was also working on a separate branch for engine serialization. So if you're ever familiar with Lisp images, the idea is like you load up your whole environment and then you serialize it, and then you could like reload your program like as if it was running before, with like everything patched into memory and everything. So I got like pretty far with Steel and trying to make it happen, and then I got like discouraged because I ran into something I didn't know how to do. So I paused it and came back to this, and it turns out the problems are very similar. And I'm getting discouraged again. And the good news is if I can take what I did before, I might actually be able to like lift it into this problem. So like I might be able to just kind of like say, you know what? I'm going to use the same solution. But I also kind of want to work on query tenders a little bit. Work on query tenders. And I also want to eat some dinner. So yeah, I can tell you more. Have a good dinner though. Take it easy, boss. All right. Let's see if I can figure out how to do this. So the issue is here. I'm visiting this capture, but I'm not like destructively rewriting it. So I need to somehow take shoot. What is up? Is that Eustace? Am I pronouncing that correctly? Don't worry. All right, I won't. I won't. I worked with a guy. His name was Julius, but with a J. So like it looked like Julius, but it was pronounced Julius. But it was funny because every time anyone ever met him for the first time, everyone would just drop Julius on him, and he was like, eh. So the J, I'm familiar with the J pronunciation conundrum, at least to a modest degree. All right, let's just trace where this is happening, and let's see if it become apparent as to how to fix it. Okay, so I don't need this anymore because I believe my problem is, what am I working on? So this is Steel, which is a programming language that I have made. It's like a scheme dialect. And I'm working on some features for it. Specifically, eval with namespaces, which you may or may not be familiar with, but yeah. I can elaborate more if you'd like. But eval is like dynamically evaluating some code at runtime, but then with namespace is like put it in its own environment. So yeah, I am having some bugs. Oh, nice. Does that not implement? I don't know. I've never checked how it's implemented. SIMD is kind of tricky, or very tricky, actually. Not kind of, very tricky. Sorry. SIMD is cool, though. SIMD is cool. Oh, so you're trying to do it explicitly? I gotcha. Yeah, isn't that like really hard though? Because you have to like do all that. Or well, it depends. Are you using any like SIMD wrapping libraries, or are you just kind of chucking it yourself? Because I know there's all sorts of issues with like different architectures that you have to be careful of. All the AVX 512, etc., etc. The intrinsics. Okay, so yeah, it's going to be extra hard. It's going to be extra hard, but probably fun. Probably fun. One day I'll spend some time with SIMD. But for now I have, well, because Steel has its own. I use CraneLift for JIT compilation, and there's some SIMD ops in there as well that I don't invoke or use, but eventually when I get there. I'm on a very long, prolonged tale of bug fixing, bubbling my way up so that I can make the JIT runtime go zoom. Right now it's only slightly faster. Well, it's modestly faster than the bytecode VM, but it will be faster. I don't even know what that is. pmove M SKB, which is basically what I need on x86. Well, there you go. All right, let's do require namespace require. And then I need to look here. And I need to look here. Creates an integer mask from no significant bits of packed value. That actually sounds really helpful. I think I actually would also need that for some of my stuff. But I think Cranelift wraps that. Okay. Oh, yeah. Is there any reason that the standard library doesn't already implement that? Or is it your goal to like upstream what you're doing now? Or is it like LLVM tends to behave so they didn't really invest in it? I don't know enough about that to have an informed opinion. Do you have a specific use case that LLVM is not behaving for? Or are you just looking to have some fun? Either way is completely fair game. Mostly just having some fun. That's great. I love to hear that. We need more of that. Just having fun with some computers. Okay. Parse ZPL2? What is ZPL2? Should I know what that is? Oh, maybe I do know what this is. Oh, I do know what this is. Oh, that would be fun. See, the best part about a project like that is the yak shaving is infinite. You just start down some path and you're just like, oh, you just keep going and keep going and keep going. And like 3 years later, you're like, what was I trying to do again? You're on your handwriting assembly and you're like, oh, I wanted to parse ZPL2, and you like forget about it. That's currently where I'm at. I'm deep in the weeds. Okay, I need to find reachable globals. That's what I wanted. Okay, so then oh, this is like a nightmare. I think I have to oh, this kind of sucks. Okay. Not two messages earlier said the end goal is to parse ZPL2. And then you said, but the end goal is to maybe create a viewer for ZPL2 labels. Which is the end goal? Parsing is step one, so it's not the end goal. The end goal is the SIMD part. The end goal of the overall is that. Nice. Okay. I think I know what to do. Oh, this sucks. Okay. And I guess I just have to. I almost think I need to like pause what I'm doing here. So the issue is, well, let's just visit. I know of SIMD-JSON. I do not know anything about SIMD-JSON, if that makes sense. I'm familiar with its existence. I think I worked with a guy many years ago who worked on the SIMD-JSON Rust implementation. I think his name was Hines. Not if I don't know if that rings a bell. Nice guy. Nice guy. Let's try to see if I can figure this out. Okay. Yeah, I feel like my oh. Is this an actual compiler or more of an interpreter JIT runtime? Rude. Actual all things that compile in some way are actual compilers. No need to gatekeep. No need to gatekeep here. But it is an interpreter, a bytecode VM. So I compiled a bytecode first. And then we JIT compile the bytecode. So in that vein, it's like the JVM. And I don't think you would refer to Java as an interpreted language. I mean, Java's as compiled as anything else is. It's compiled from Java source code to something else. It's not compiled to native like without running in the JVM, but you can, I think. I think that exists these days. I don't know what that is. You're naming things I have never heard of. You're deep in the weeds. Giselle DBX. I'm not familiar. Direct bytecode execution. Oh, I think I do know about this. At least I think I learned about it in school. Or heard about it when we read some paper or something. Java's cool. I don't slander Java here. I would say I like Java to a modest extent. I think it's cool. I really like Scala. I like Clojure as well. I really like Scala. It's really fun to write. Really fun language to write. Okay, I think unfortunately I mean, you can say good idea versus not, but also at the same time, like, everything we're doing is ridiculous. We take rocks and we run electricity through them, and here we are. So, to that vein, incorporating into the CPU is just another wild idea. Another wild idea in an attempt to make money. Oh. Come on. Come on, sir. Well, sure. They realized after it didn't make them any money, probably. I bet if it had made them a lot of money, they would have kept it around. Haskell's cool too. I got nothing against Haskell. Okay, I'm seeing the error of my ways. No. I know what the problem is. I know what the problem is. It's a we're walking it back as trying to figure out how to fix the problem. But I know what the problem is. So the issue is I am trying to do eval with namespaces, and the namespace that, like, the new namespace, I'm trying to map the old index to the new index, because the way I do, like, global values is through index lookups. So now when I'm operating this, like, new space, I'm running into a Clojure. Like, I tried to patch all of the bytecode that is getting, like, moved into the new space, but it's not quite working the way I expected. And I realize it's because I'm not actually I'm not doing it correct. No, each namespace is like an isolated it's its own thing. It's not in one unified namespace. There's multiple kinds of namespaces involved here, but the one I'm referring to is one that I've invented for the purposes of this implementation. In this world where you're not running, like, eval with namespace, like, if you have different modules within Seal and you require an import, they all end up, it's all flat. It's like a flat global namespace. They can't reference each other through mangling, like, at the runtime level. Like, everything gets, all this gets hidden during the compilation step. But this namespace thing is special. This is a special thing, which is basically a whole new flat global environment. But the problem is that the lambdas, the closures, all of the bytecode has already been compiled with all of the references referring to the other one, referring to the global one. So the way I was doing it originally was I'm saying, okay, as when I make a function available in the new environment, I rewrite its, like I copy it and I load it into that new environment and I rewrite the offsets. But the issue is I need to deeply rewrite the offsets, which at first I didn't think was necessary. At first I didn't think it was necessary. Okay, so now let's see here. Okay, so I might just need to walk the tree and rebuild it in the new environment. That might work. Not sure. Okay, so this... Excuse me. Okay, so from here, we're going through and we're rewriting all of the globals. Rewriting the globals is... Yeah, it's like I have to... I mean, can I update the lambdas in place? I don't think so. Really cool if I could, though. I could do that for the purposes of this experiment. This is very tricky. Almost thinking I don't want to do it, but I got kind of far. I have many other things I could do. This is odd. I wonder how Racket does this. How does Racket do this? I feel like my entire approach is wrong, which is never a great spot to be in. Not my favorite spot to be in. I guess I could walk everything and update them destructively. I guess I could. It might be the only way to do it. Might be the only way to do it. I could try. Okay, we have rewrite indices. So now I need to just walk it and find every value and update it recursively. But if I run into a... Yeah, this is just like serializing. It's literally what I was working on. I take some values and I serialize them across and I rewrite. Yeah. Okay, so I'm going to pause on this. Yeah, I'm going to pause on that. Because I think my new approach is basically the same. So, okay. So in here, yeah. What theme was I using? I forget. Anyone have a preferred theme? Preferred theme in chat? Any theme enjoyers? I like to mix it up. What is up? What is up? What's the theme? What theme am I picking today? You don't know? Not one theme recommendation? Go with this one. All right. So in an effort to do eval with namespaces, I think I discovered that I need to do I need to reuse some of the code for thread serialization. Which is kind of a bummer. But it means that it's something. Both of these features are something that this feature, engine serialization, is the one I really want because I'm trying to speed up startup. Trying to make startup faster. And so like bit by bit, piece by piece, I try to I'm trying to figure out ways to make the engine start up faster. And it's like we can do some experiments and see. Apologies for the flashbang. But my idea is if I can create an engine, like an image, which is basically pre-expanded, pre-compiled stuff, then I won't need to do a bunch of like the bootstrap. Like as it is, just launching the engine now, I think takes like 50 milliseconds or something. Which is not great. I want that to be like 0. And I want to be able to pre-compile bytecode. However, do I think optimizing startup times is premature optimization? Well, how many times have you woken up to a direct message, an email, an issue opened saying, my Helix is starting up slower now than it did before? I bet you've woken up 0 times. I've woken up like 15 times getting that email. And then I look and it's like 30 milliseconds slower than it was like the day before because of a slight regression in something or another, right? But no, is it a premature optimization? Premature, probably. But is it an optimization I want to do? Yes. Right? Like there's some trade-off here. Like the biggest challenge I have is like I've already figured out how to pre-compile everything, and it seems to work. Now, the issue then though is like you can't continue to like run macros and stuff. So I call them like non-interactive images. So I can make non-interactive programs, no problem, where you're just running the bytecode. And there's no more like eval. There's no like eval isn't like eval where you all the macros and everything work. Like isn't really no, even then like the eval would work. It's just like these are like non-interactive images. Basically, no fussing with the top level environment is the idea. Those work. But Helix explicitly fusses with the top level environment. So it doesn't work too well. Like in Helix, you can open it up and you can like eval some stuff. Okay. So it's like that's like almost freaking instantaneous as far as I'm concerned. But if we boot this up and I say like, you know, 0.07 seconds. It's pretty freaking fast as far as I'm concerned. But I think if I like if I do right, Steel, like Helix boots up in 265 milliseconds, which is not good enough, supposedly. Even though it's loading all the plugins and everything. So, I want to do something like pull this up. Right. And for every one of you, there's a dozen more people sending me emails that they open and close Helix nonstop. Which is crazy to me. Like, I totally get it. I understand. But also, the LSPs take like 5 minutes to boot up on a sufficiently large code base. Or at least a minute, you know. They're not instantaneous either. No, the guy is not just trolling me. There's literally like a dozen or maybe 20 distinct individuals who have made this point. But if we look at it, it's like most of it is this part. You know, well, there's quite a bit here, right? Why is this sampling is like weird as hell? Okay, the point is it's you know, I think it would be cool. I think it'd be cool to like have all your plugins, you have pre-compiled everything. That's true. 12 FPS. Pre-compiled bytecode would be cool though. Okay, Sherman, can you stop barking? Sorry, the dog is barking. Can you stop barking? Sherman, you want to go out? Come here. Come on. Y'all see the Hobbit movie when they dropped like the 48 FPS or something back in the day, many years ago at this point? And people like freaked the frick out because they were like, it looks ridiculous. Because it wasn't in 24 FPS. That was a crazy time. So specifically, the engine serialization is it's a twofold thing. One, I want to be able to serialize arbitrary values. I think that would be really cool. For example, you could serialize a closure and send it over the wire in a metaphorical actor framework that we perhaps want to implement at some point in our lives. Also, something like, let's say you're, well, I know, for example, I mean, I can pull it up. There's someone's using Steel for their like interactive programming thing, and they build up a bunch of state in Steel through the UI, and they want to be able to save it and come back to it, which would require like arbitrary serialization. So I'm trying to get some more details on what they're trying to do, but I think it would be cool to be able to just like kind of like pinpoint a spot in the program and kind of like snapshot it and resume. But the actor program, that there's many things I want to do. Why is this eating up so much time? Anyway, that's one of many things I'm working on right now. But I don't know. Maybe I don't work on that right now. Like, what else would I work on right now? That's the question. I have those things. I have cross module inlining. Okay. Maybe I merge that. Maybe I merge my cross module inlining, and then I can come back to the other problems later. Okay, I merged that. Are you making a roguelike, or are you telling me to make a roguelike in Steel? So you're making one? I got how long 7 DRL game jam? What is this? Oh, well, you're just using Rust. From March 1st to March 9th. It starts today. I got a lot of other things I need to do this week, and this unfortunately is not one of them. As much as I would love to not work, can't swing it. Can't swing it. What happens if you win? Is there a winner, or is it just like we just make games for a week? If so, why do you need an excuse to do it? You should be doing it all the time. Yeah, I have some. I'm working on a side project with some with some friends. I've been spending a lot of time on that. That's been fun. On the DL though, not to share. Secret project. Secret project. That has been the vast majority of my time outside of the occasional Steel and Helix work. I think I need to exactly VC funded startup using Steel. It's literally just AI, but Steel, actually. There is AI in it, but very little relative to the most of the work. That's how the companies work these days. In case you didn't know, you use Steel. I think it might be time that I return to my JIT roots. Let me pull this up. I have many, many things in flight. Let's go. Let's pull this up. Pull request, new pull request. Shared vector testing. Okay. So I Okay, perfect. Oh no. Let's try this. My PRs are failing. Okay. Okay, sweet. Okay, so this is the I have my shared library, my list library. I've finally updated to use shared vectors under the hood. So then they're repr C now, which means I can inline stuff. I can inline car and cutter ops in the JIT. So I'm going to merge this PR, update steel to use this, and then we're going to be cooking with gas. So what's your roguelike, Mr. Gold Silver Electrum? Also, unfortunately, I have no VC funding at this time. If any VCs out there want to burn money on steel, please reach out. If you want no return on your investment. Cowboy style thing said in the 1850s, fight a ton of enemies with revolvers, nothing too complex, more like a demo of Bevy Ratatouille. Sounds good to me. Okay, so the docks are broken. No item named vector. Prediction market ad? Perfect. Okay. Okay. I don't really respect Clippy. Can I say that? Is that allowed? No robot is going to tell me what to do. I generally don't dislike Clippy, but also I don't really care. It's one of the dichotomy of man. All right. I think I'm going to squash and merge. Okay. And then I'm going to publish the new one. Okay, we've published the new one. Now we're going to take that. Oh. Oh. What the heck? What the heck happened here? Did this just break everything? What is going on here? Oh no. What is the issue here? I don't know what I did wrong. It's very unhappy with me. Let's see. I have a All right, let's see here. Oh, let me finish this. Well, I have a another branch. Yeah. But this one works. Well, that might be it for me today. I got to figure this out, and I need to go make dinner. So, thanks everyone for watching. I appreciate it. I know it was a quick one, but good luck on the game jam. I will catch y'all later.